in Queensland, and I'm coming to you live here on Sunday night for an exciting new 12-day series that I'm starting once again. So, welcome, welcome. I hope lots of you are getting the notification that I have gone live. So, it takes a little while for it to get out there into the internet world that I've actually clicked that go live button. So if you're watching, if you see the live up in the top corner, it will actually be a live session. If you don't see that, you're probably catching the replay. So at the moment, it's 6:14 p.m. here on Sunday, the 3rd of September. 2023, and I'm actually starting a brand new series called 12 Days of Christmas Treat Holders. Now, when I say treat holders, it can be anything from lollies, cookies, little small gifts, soaps, absolutely just little tiny gifts. So when it comes to gift giving at Christmas, I find it's really, really nice to be able to give a handmade gift. So there's nothing better than a cute little gift that you have made using some of your crafting supplies. So I was so overwhelmed by the response of my 12 days of Christmas that I thought I am going to bring you 12 days of Christmas treat holders. So the one that I'm doing today can be for any time. So and remember, any of these treat holders that I show you can be for any occasion. So you just change up the type of papers and the sentiments that you're popping on things to actually change it for whatever season it is or for whatever purpose it is. So hello and welcome everybody. I can see quite a few of you jumping on. So I'm not only going to show you how I made these treat holders today. So these are actually holding the beautiful little Tilley soaps that you can buy, which they smell absolutely phenomenal. So I'm actually going to show you a cute little box today that you can pop anything in and how to create a box to whatever size that you want. So this is honestly a no fail method of how I came up with the actual box to fit the exact size that I want. So you will be able to walk away today knowing exactly how to make a box with whatever you're going to put in the box. You start with that and work out your sizing from that. So I'm actually going to show you, I'm going to show you how to make the box, but then I'm actually going to show you how I worked out the sizing of that box. And I know you will absolutely be blown away how easy it is if you work out a map of how to actually create them. So hello everybody, I can see lots of you have jumped in. We have Margaret, Glenda, hello, Jill, welcome from over in Western Australia, Glenda from Northern Queensland, welcome, Doris from New South Wales, Lynn from Queensland, hello Lena, hello Nora from Ireland, welcome, welcome. I can see I've got a Facebook user there, so you're obviously in one of my private groups, so it doesn't have a name. Hello, Colleen. How are you? Robin. Hello, Carol from down New South Wales. Marilyn, hello, welcome. Susan from Victoria, hello, welcome, welcome. And Janine, hello, Janine. So let's get started because I know you're all hanging. Hey, Rebecca from Victoria, hello. It's amazing how I know where all of you are from. Well, I know where most of you are from, put it that way. Okay, so let's get the camera down and let's get into it. Hello, Daryl from Casino. So there you go. I've finally worked out that you are Daryl that knows my friend in the newsagents in Casino. So there you go. So I'm going to show you how to make these cute little boxes, and it's going to fit one of these gorgeous little Tilley soaps that you can actually buy. Now, you can buy these Tilley soaps from lots and lots of places. Now, I find actually that you can buy them from some of the cheap stores as well. And oh my God, I have to tell you, I wish I had smell-o-vision because these soaps smell absolutely stunning. So the reason why I'm doing these treat holders and things is because I'm about to exhibit at the Beaudesert Show, which I live here in Beaudesert. It's my local town, and they're having our local show that's happening on the 8th and 9th of September. So next Friday and Saturday. So I'm madly making things to actually have at my stall. So I thought, what better way, because I've been researching things, and what better way but to show you how to make these gorgeous little boxes. So they are a super, super cute little box. Now I've got a ribbon on them. I'm going to undo this ribbon so that you can see, or should I pick one that's got a ribbon that's not so tight? This one here. Let's pick this one here. Okay, so I've done them all in different papers and things so you can see how different they are. Now with the ribbon, I've just got the ribbon that it's going to be able to slide on and off. And then I've got a little finger hole here. And when you open it up, it's got the beautiful little Tilley soap inside. So these are fantastic for little gifts. You know, when you want to give a friend a little something, but you don't want to break the bank. These type of things are a really, really great little gift, and it means so much to people. So I decided that I would show you this exact size. So some of these, so you can get these size Tilley soaps, but you can also get this size Tilley soap as well. Now these ones were individually wrapped. These ones aren't actually wrapped. So we're going to work out a sizing for this one in this video as well. But this one I'm going to go straight ahead because I have all the sizings ready to go. So they are really super cute, Susan. I'm telling you. You'll be into making them. And the soaps are stunning. Like, honestly, the smell of the soaps are gorgeous. And even in some Coles supermarkets and things, you can actually get them too. I did check our supermarket here, but it didn't have any. So anyway, so I have a piece of cardstock here. And it's 7 1/4. I'm gonna measure it because I think it's 7 1/4 by 4 1/8 by the look of that. 4 1/8 and 7 1/4. Let me get it right. 4 1/8, yes, and 7 1/4. Yes. So 4 1/8 and 7 1/4. So you can get about 3 of these out of a piece of A4 cardstock. So it's very minimal supplies to be able to make them. I've got some designer series paper here already cut. Now this is out of the brand new mini catalog that goes live. I'm so excited. Our new mini catalog goes live on Wednesday this week coming. So it's going to be super, super awesome. Now I have to actually tell you a little bit about, before we get started, now that there's quite a few of you that have jumped on, I want to tell you about something really amazing that happened to me this weekend. It happened to me yesterday, and I'm still on cloud nine. I have a friend that I have met here, that she lost her husband, and we go to bingo quite a lot. So you may know I love bingo. I physically love bingo. I love hanging out at bingo. I love going to bingo, and I even love it when you win some money at bingo. Now I have to tell you, I'm not going to disclose the amount that I won, but I need to tell you that it was quite a large amount. I actually won a jackpot at the Greenbank RSL yesterday, and it was a big jackpot. And it couldn't have come at a better time. I actually had said to my daughter and to my mum and dad, and you all know I've been building a craft studio out in the backyard, and I mean, it's going to be fantastic when I actually get it done. But unfortunately, it costs a lot of money to be able to build these things. And I've even got my mum and my dad that are actually building this with me. And so we're trying to do it so that we can save as much money. And unfortunately, I got the roof on, and I've bought all of the windows and doors and everything for the craft studio. But I got to a stage that the money was like definitely running out. And I actually said to my daughter 2 weeks ago, I actually don't know whether I'm going to be able to finish the craft studio. Like, I know I've got the doors and the windows, but I physically have used all my money that I had put aside to do it. So it had more or less come to a standstill. I mean, I still have to get the roof approved through council and things anyway, but it had more or less come to a standstill. And I was really, like, money-wise, I was really panicking. And I need to tell you that the jackpot that I won yesterday is enough for me to finish my craft studio, to actually finish the walls in my craft studio, probably put lining in my studio, and probably put some flooring down and maybe get an air conditioner unit to go in it. So it was a considerable sum of money that I won yesterday. And I have never in my entire life ever won anything as massive or as huge as what it was yesterday. And I'm not going to say it here on social media for the simple fact that I'm not going to talk dollars, but let's just put it this way. It has taken the pressure off me, and I'm actually going to be able to finish my craft studio where I want to hold all my classes and things for people to come and have that social connection through crafting. So I am absolutely over the moon. And well, Lynn, I am telling you, as soon as that craft studio is up and running, there will be classes. There will be, it will be a beautiful entertainment area too. I will actually do a bit of a walkthrough one day. I'll go live and do a bit of a walkthrough. But I just need to tell you, I'm still in a state of shock. Like physically, when I actually won the jackpot, I actually was shaking and I thought I was going to pass out. Like my heart was racing and it was just amazing. So nothing has ever happened like that in my entire life. And I can tell you, I just cannot believe it. I think the gods have been looking down on me and said, this person really needs this. And I didn't win anything else that day other than the big jackpot. So, and I feel like my luck has changed. So anyway, and I feel like, things have turned around since I did my 12 days of Christmas. Like lots of people have been like commenting, and I've had people reaching out to me about classes. So I feel like my luck has changed. So I just wanted to tell you that because I'm still over the moon. I still can't believe that it actually happened and that it's made my life a little bit easier. So I just had to tell that because it's a wonderful story. And I actually talked to a lady today that was she was at the bingo yesterday, and I went again with my friend to bingo again this afternoon, and I felt a little bit guilty going there. And when I walked in, it was like I was famous. All these people were saying to me, "Oh my God, were you the person that won yesterday?" I'm like, "Yes, I was." And so yeah, it was just it was quite amazing. So anyway, so that's a little bit of good news. So it's made my life a little bit easier. Okay, let's get into doing this. So now I've got that piece that I said is cut at 7 1/4 by 4 1/8. I'm now going to along that 7 1/4 inch side. I'm going to score at 1 inch. 1 inch. I'm going to score it at 3 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to score it at 6 1/4, which is just there. Okay. So that was 1 inch, 3 1/8, 4 1/8, and 6 1/4. I'm then going to rotate it and I'm going to score it at 1 inch and at 3 1/8. Okay. Now, that is what is going to create our box. So whenever you're doing anything like that, the best thing to do is definitely have your bone folder that you can fold on all of your score lines. Margaret said, "It's good to know God knew your problem. Give praise and thanks to him." I know, Margaret, honestly. And believe it or not, I was actually at bingo by myself because I actually went up to see my daughter, and my friend that normally goes to bingo with me, hang on, I've missed a score line. What have I done wrong here? 1 3/8, 1, 3 1/8, 4 1/8. Where did I miss the 4 1/8? I missed the 4 1/8. I was too busy talking. I missed the 4 1/8. Yeah, I did. I missed the 4 1/8. So let's get the 4 1/8 there. Okay. See, I knew as soon as I went to fold it, I'm like, there's something missing there. Okay, so it was 1, 3 1/8, 4 1/8, and 6 1/4. Okay. Thank you, Lynn. You picked up on it. I didn't pick up on it until I went to fold it. Yeah, so I was actually at bingo by myself, and when they wanted to take a photo with me with the check, they said, "Get your friends." I said, "I don't have any friends here with me, so I'm sorry." So all the bingo ladies that run the bingo at the club all jumped into the photo. So yeah, so they made me feel, and I said, I cannot believe that you can do something like that and then not have your friends there to actually witness it. So, but anyway, so then of course my friend wanted to go this afternoon after she heard what I won. She's like, "Oh my God, we're going again today." So anyway, we did. Okay, so now that we've got all of our score lines, so you can see all of our score lines there, we've burnished and folded all of those score lines. I'm now going to just cut up on all of these tabs. So I'm going to cut up this way, up to that first score line. This is such a simple box, and you can actually do it with anything. And when I actually show you, because I'm going to create a template for the larger one. So when I create the template for the larger one, I will show you how I worked out the sizing for this. And if you do my rule of thumb when it comes to working out the template, you'll be able to make a box for any size that you want. Okay, so we've got that all happening there. Now, I love when I've got little tabs like this that are going to fold in to create the box. I always like to miter those in. So I always like to just take a little slice off each side. And all that does is it stops it when you actually fold it in, it stops it from poking up above that straight layer. So all of the larger rectangles we're keeping definitely straight. All of the smaller tabs we're actually going to cut up a little wedge on all of those smaller tabs. Just cutting off so that we are creating a smaller flap to fold in. So we're going to do that on all of those ones. So you can see there, I've just cut them all in like a little wedge. I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to cut in and make a wedge on all of the small flaps, not the larger rectangle one, all of the little square ones. We're going to cut in like that. And of course this one here. Now, one of the things with these little boxes, and because I've made so many, I got myself into a real sequence in doing it, and they're actually quite easy. You can make them quite quickly, so they're not a hard thing to actually make. Now, what you've got to do is one of these sections is going to be the bottom base part of your box. The top section is going to be the lid that's going to actually like fold over and go in. So now these soaps are, let me tell you what the size of the soaps are. The soaps are 2 inches by 2 inches. Yes, 2 inches by 2 inches. Okay, so they're a 2 inch by 2 inch. So I've made this big enough that you've got a little bit of room to move. So my designer series paper is 2 inches by 2 inches. And then I have this side here because they're actually like they're like nearly an inch high. Okay, so the side piece that I have here, I've got that an inch high. This piece here is 7/8 of an inch, and of course it's 2 inches because my side is 2 inches as well. So what we actually have is 3 pieces of designer series paper. They're like that. That is 7/8 of an inch by 2 inches, and you need 3 pieces of them, and you need 1 piece of 2 by 2 inch. Okay, so I like to decorate the lid and the sides before I put the box together. And I also like to cut out, as you seen here, we have like a little finger hole to be able to open up the boxes really easily. I like to cut that out before I put it together as well, because you'll see the reason when we go to put it together. If you leave it until afterwards, you can't cut that out, because once you've got your sides folded down, it's too hard to get the punch in. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to apply those onto the lid of the box and the sides and the front of the box. Okay, so I'm going to adhere that one right there. So it's easier to do it while you've got it out here flat. You can decorate afterwards if you want to, but you definitely have to have that front flap decorated with your designer series paper and with that finger hole punched out before you actually fold it up. Okay, so we've got that one there. And this is the gorgeous designer series paper that goes with, I mean, if someone's there that knows the name of the set that this goes with, I don't actually have even a catalogue here to tell you what the name of the paper is. But anyway, it's a gorgeous set that's in our new mini catalogue coming. Okay, so I've got my designer series paper stuck on the lid, my sides, and the front. And then I'm actually just going to grab a punch, and I used my 1.5 inch punch. Now, you can see here when I go to punch, if I had these folded in to make that lid, I physically would not be able to get my punch in there. If I had a smaller punch, yes, I could do it with a smaller punch. But I find it's easier to do it when you've got it out flat. And I just eyeball it, get the punch looking fairly level on both sides here. And then I just punch that little piece out. And that gives us that little finger piece when it comes to opening the box. Now, some people don't put those finger pieces in it, and I find it a little bit frustrating trying to open up the box, okay? It's called Garden Walk. Thank you, Rebecca. I knew someone would know, and of course, one of my team members would know. Okay, so now what we're actually going to do, we've got the front decorator. We're actually going to make the bottom half of the box. So it's just a basic bottom half of the box, the way you would normally do it. Now, I have to use liquid glue because I need to tell you I've run out of my Seal Plus. Now, I would normally use Seal Plus to do this rather than liquid glue, but I have to use liquid glue because I've been making so many things for the Bow Desert show that I've actually run out of Seal Plus. I can't believe it. So I've actually had to place another order to get some Seal Plus. Okay, so then all we're going to do is, with these corners, we're just going to fold that up and we're going to create just the base of our box. So we're just going to line up our sides on the side here, hold it closed until that liquid glue actually takes hold. Then I'm going to fold up this one, line up the same thing. So the best part with this is to make sure that you're lining up this bit here and your side fold really, really well. Because the better that you do your box, the better that your box is going to open and close a lot better. If you are uneven with doing this box, and if you have like it not lining up and there's a bit of an angle there, you'll find that then trying to get your lid to fit over the top, it won't work. So you've got to be very, very careful and very, very aware that you're lining up your sides really, really well and pushing them together. Okay, so with liquid glue, you could use you could use tear and tape for this as well. I just can't be bothered to play around with taking the backing off tear and tape, so I'm just going to hold it together with liquid glue. And as you can see, even just holding it together with liquid glue, it's not taking a great amount of time for that to actually take hold. And there you have the bottom part of your box. So you can see there, it's just a box. Bottom part of your box. Now, of course, the top part, we're actually going to fold in like this, and that's going to create our lid. Now, you can see here we don't have tabs here, and the reason we don't have tabs here is because that's going to fold down and be the side of your box, okay? So you don't need the tabs there. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue. As I said, I would definitely use Seal Plus or even your tear and tape to hold these together, or you can use liquid glue and just be patient like I'm doing right now, okay? So a little bit of liquid glue on those, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line them up really nice and square. So the key to getting a box to look really, really nice is definitely scoring and burnishing your score lines with your bone folder, and making sure that you're lining up those corners really, really precisely when you do it. And you'll find that you'll have no problem with your box opening and closing, because you've actually lined it up and it's very nice and square, ready to go. Okay, so we have that and that. And then, of course, those two outside bits are going to flap down and then it's going to fall over the top. Okay, now I've actually done one extra little bit to this. So I'm actually going to pop the little Tilley soap in there. You can see here It fits nice and snug, absolutely beautifully in there, nice and snug. And then that closes over. But what I want to do is I want to angle these. You can see on these that I've got a little bit of an angle, and I just think it creates a little bit more difference. And these tend to sit out a little bit. So when you cut the angle, you eliminate that from happening. Okay. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to open the lid. I'm going to rock it right back the other way, which it helps with the lid opening and shutting, even if you do fold it back that way. And I'm just going to get my scissors, and from the outside corner to that fold line, I'm going to snip it off. Now, you just need to eyeball it. You don't have to be too particular with how you do it, because no one's going to line up both sides and go, hang on a minute, is that level? No one's going to care, because everyone is going to be so over the moon that they've got this gorgeous gift. Okay, and there you have your sides already done. So then with the ribbon, I'm going to wrap the ribbon around, which I have my ribbon here. So this is our trio ribbon of, we have it in Bubble Bath, in Lemon Lolly, and Azure Afternoon. So it's a ribbon trio pack, which is really, really lovely ribbon, goes with lots and lots of things. So this is a great staple to have in your craft room. So I'm then going to wrap my ribbon around and tie a bow, and you'll see me struggle here trying to tie a bow. Now you'll notice I haven't cut it off there because I don't want to waste ribbon, so I'm just physically going to make my loop. Once I get my loop all sorted, then I'm just going to wrap it around and tie my bow. And what you'll find is when you go to tighten your bow, it actually tightens it around your box, and gradually it gets tighter. So, okay, so I'm now going to reorganize my bow, okay, and then I'm going to tighten again. Okay, and that actually pulls it in tighter, and that way then we can, the person can actually open the box up, they can take their soap out or whatever, and they can reclose their box again. So your ribbon's not going to worry about, it can slide on and off, no problem whatsoever. Now I'm actually going to create a cute little tag for this, because I actually found this stamp set around the bend, and it's got "just wanted to say thanks," and I think that is absolutely a perfect sentiment to put on one of these cute little gift boxes. So now, if it was for Christmas, I'd do it in Christmas paper, and I would most probably make sure that sorry, I'm just trying to find, there we go. I haven't even used this stamp set. Can you believe that? Around the bend, I haven't even used it. I need to put a sticker on the back. It is a great little sentiment. You can change up the sentiment. Just put Merry Christmas on it if it was for Christmas. Okay. So I'm just going to, sorry, I've got to mount my sticker onto my stamp. So in case you haven't seen this done before, if I can get the sticker out, there we go. I'm going to stick the sticker straight onto my stamp, onto my block, pull those off. I'm going to turn it over onto my stamp and work out that's the way there, and just stamp it down, and I've got my sticker on my stamp where I need it to be. Okay, so now I'm just going to stamp that on a piece of basic white, which, just bear with me while I grab some basic white over here. Okay, so let's grab out that, and I think I'm going to stamp it in, I am thinking the sweet sorbet, because the colouring in this is sweet sorbet. So let's do it in sweet sorbet. So let's do "just wanted to say thanks" in sweet sorbet. Now let's see if I can work out a punch that's going to punch that out that's not too big. Let me see if, well, that one definitely does it, but that's the 1.5. Let's see if I've got, I think I've only got a 1 inch. Yeah. And that's definitely not going to do it. That's definitely not going to cut it. Too little. Okay, so it's got to be the 1.5 inch. So let's do 1.5 inch. And then let's grab some of that sweet sorbet And let's grab a 1 3/4 inch. And okay, we can pop those up on top of each other. Donna, she's just said, wow, another series. I know. Why not? I mean, it was a mammoth one, the last one, but I'm starting another one. Okay, so we've got that. Now, I will be live most afternoons at 5 p.m. And I will only be live probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. I won't be able to go live Thursday, Friday, and Saturday because I will be at the show, but I'll be back again on the Sunday. So now I can actually pop that on there. So I can smoosh my ribbon up a little bit and pop it over to the side a little bit more. I can actually pop that on there and I can glue that onto that lid because it's totally okay. So I can actually do it a little bit sideways like that. Totally okay to glue it on the lid because it's not going to affect anything about opening up the lid or not. So I'm just going to now, I would normally do it with Seal Plus, but because I don't have any Seal Plus, we are going to do it with liquid glue. Okay, and we are just going to pop that in underneath that ribbon and just turn it a little bit sideways like that. And I do have some of these little dots that I could use. Let's try these ones. So these are my little dots that I made with our they're called our pearlized enamel effects, and I'm still using them. So I had a whole heap of them on my thing, but I think I'm going to use the white ones, and I will probably use a bit of some glue dots. So let's grab some of those white ones off there. I'll use where is my take your pick? It's not even there. So let's just use the scissors. We'll just have to do it this way. Hopefully I can do it. No, I need my take your pick tool. Where is that? Surely it is here somewhere. There we go. I was going to say, how do you lose a take your pick tool? Quite easily. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that into a glue dot there. Pop it down on there. I'm going to grab a bigger one and pop it on there. I'm probably only going to pop, maybe I could put another third little one. Let's just pop it on there. Okay, so now they're on glue dots. I can just pull that glue dot off and I can pop that down there. I can pop the bigger one maybe up there. Oop. And then another one. Where'd that little one go? That one maybe just up. Oh. No, my glue dot is stuck on here. Oh dear. Came off my little dot. Let's put the little dot on the glue dot. Oh, it doesn't have to be that hard. There we go. And there we have a cute little soap box. Now, I'm going to show you how I made that template. I'm not going to make another whole one, but I'm going to show you how I made the template because we need to make a template for this one. So I wanted to work out how to make the template for it because I'm going to need to, I bought another few of these today to do for the show. So I'm going to show you exactly how I made that template up. So just let me grab a scrap piece of paper. Okay. And I'm just going to draw this so you can see how I work it out. So the first thing that I do is I measure what I'm going to put in the box, okay? So let me grab a pen. So the first thing that we need to measure is the actual size of what we're going to pop into the box. I need something like a book or something to lean on. Hang on, let me see if I have my desk has there we go. I'll pop my diary in underneath. Okay, so first of all, we have to work out the square of what we're going to, or the rectangle of what we're going to put in there. So the main thing to do is to measure exactly what it is and add 1/8 of an inch on. So we've got like 3 inches. So we're going to do 3 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to say that's 3 1/8 that way. Okay. And then it is, we'll say, oh, I need to get it under here so I can see it exactly. Well, I'm going to say 2 1/4 inches. So that way, 2 1/4 inches. Okay. So we have measured how long it is, how wide it is. Then we have to measure how high it is. So of course these are like nearly an inch. They're like 7/8 of an inch. So I'm going to say an inch is how high we need it to be. Okay. So what you've actually got to do is we want it to be an inch. So what you've got to imagine is the box is going to open up and flap out, and you need to have like your sides and your edges all on them. So because it's like 1 inch high, I need to add 1 inch out here, 1 inch. I need to add 1 inch out there. So that's 1 inch. I need to add 1 inch here, 1 inch. And I also need to add 1 inch here because that's 1 inch. Okay. So are you following with me? So we've got the size of the soap. We've also got to have the height of the soap. So you can imagine that these bits are going to fold up. Okay. So far, what we have on here so far is the 2 sides long ways, the 2 sides short ways, plus we have the bit that's going to cover the bottom. Okay. So if they all fold up, this is still vacant. Okay. So that's really all we've got is that bottom part of the box. So now what we need to do is make a lid that's going to go over the top of all of that box. So if you can imagine, so where did I put my, there? So of course we need to fill in these corners here because they're our little flaps that we cut. Okay. So we need to fill in those corners. Okay. So all we've got to do is duplicate that again because it's like 2 boxes. It's like 1 box on the bottom and another box on the top that's coming over the top. Okay. So what we've actually got to do is we've got to duplicate that again. So we've got that, it's going to cover the sides and the base. So now we've got to cover the top. So we need another piece here that is 3 1/8. Can you tell I liked maths at school? So 3 1/8 that way. And then 2, sorry, why did I say 2 1/4? Oh yeah, 2 1/4 because it's 2 1/4 that way. Okay, so that way, 2 1/4. Okay. Then of course, we're going to need the front of the flap and the sides of the flap here. Okay, so that's 1 inch because we want it at 1 inch. This is 1 inch here. This is 1 inch here. Okay, and then of course we've got our little corners that are going to be our flaps. Okay, that is actually how you make the template. Now you've got to work out, how do I know how big to do my piece of paper? Because you actually have to work out what the measurement is here, what the measurement is here. So how we work that out is we measure all of these parts here. Okay, so this is, so we're going to measure going down this way first. Okay, so we've got 1 inch here. This bit from here to here is 1 inch. So we're going to add 1. This bit from here to here is this measurement here, the 2 1/4. So we're going to say plus 2 1/4. Okay. Now this one from here to here is 1 inch. Again, remember this is the side bit. So we've got 1 inch. So we're going to add another inch. This bit from here to here is 2 1/4 inches. So we're going to add 2 1/4 inches. And this one here is that 1 inch again, from here to here is that 1 inch. So we're going to add 1 inch. Okay. So if we add those up, 2 1/4 and 2 1/4 is 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 7 1/2. So we actually have to do that cardstock, that length there, 7 1/2 inches. The length across this way, now we have to work it out. So we have 1 inch here, which is our flap. So from here to here is 1 inch. Okay, so we're going to 1 inch plus this from here to here is this measurement here, remember? 3 1/8. So we're going to add 3 1/8. And this measurement here is 1 inch. So we actually have, that is going to, so that one up there equaled 7 1/2 inches. This one here is going to add up to 3, 4, 5 1/8 of an inch. Okay. So we need a piece of cardstock 5 1/8 by 7 1/2. So I'm now going to cut that cardstock and show you exactly how that is going to work out for that soap. Okay, so I'm going to cut the cardstock. I'm going to show you how it folds up, but I'm actually not going to decorate it. Okay, so let's get into that and I'll show you how that works. So I've got a pink soap there. So I'm thinking I might do, actually I'm going to do, I can probably get it out of this bit of cardstock here. Let me see if I can. And I might do some of the, I might actually decorate it. I mean, oh, and I need to tell you, I know you all love him so much, so I just need to show you who actually snuck in while we were doing that. Theodore. So Theodore has actually made a presence and has snuck in while we have been away. Oh, well, while we've been crafting, sorry. I explained it really well. I'm so glad, Glenda, that I have explained that really well, because I know people ask me all the time, and I'm more than happy to help people work out how you can actually make a box by whatever item you have. So the thing is, you've just got to work out what your item is and how the measurements work. So let's put our little template up here. I know it's rough, but I mean, like, that's actually how I work out my templates. So we've got a template up there. So we've got to have it 7 1/2 inches by 5 1/8. So we should be able to get it out of this piece of cardstock. Pleased to see Theo. Yes, he's still motivated. He's still around. 7 1/2 inches. Yes, we can get it out of this. Awesome. Okay, so we've got 7 1/2 inches by, that was where I just did 7 1/2, didn't I? Yep, by 5 1/8. Okay, 5 1/8. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, so now what we've got to do is we've got to work out our score lines. Okay, so that is the main thing that we have to work out again here. So we've got a score line here that we're going to, so we've got our 7 1/2 inches. Okay, so let's get 7 1/2 inches. So we've got it right. So we've got 7 1/2 inches across here. Now we're going to work out our score lines. So the first amount that we've got here is 1 inch, right? So we're going to have to score that at 1 inch. Okay. So we're going to go 1 inch. We're going to go 2 1/4 inches. 1 inch plus 2 1/4 is 3 1/4. Okay. So we've got 1 inch here. We've scored there. Sorry, this way. 1 inch, we've scored there. We've got 2 1/4 here, so we need to go 1 plus 2 1/4 is 3 1/4. So we're going to score at 3 1/4. I'm going to write this down so that we have the measurement. So we're scoring the 7 1/2 inch side at 1 inch, 3 1/4 inches. I'm hoping I don't mess this up. Then we've got another inch. So 3 1/4 inches plus 1 inch is 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to score at 4 1/4. So 4 1/4. Then we're going to add another 2 1/4. So we've got 4 1/4 and another 2 1/4 is 5, 6 1/4, 6 1/2 inches. 6.5 inches, and that should leave us with 1 inch there, and it does. So 6.5 inches. Okay, so we're scoring at 1 inch, 3 1/4, 4 1/4, and 6 1/2. Then we're going to rotate it around. So now we've got our 5 1/8 inch side, which is that one. So we're going to look at that now. We've got 1 inch, we've got 3 1/8. So we're going to score at 1 inch first. 1 inch. 3 1/8. So 1 inch plus 3 1/8 is 4 1/8. Okay, so 4 1/8. So 1 inch and 4 1/8 on the 5 1/8 side. We're going to score at 1 inch and 5 1/8. No, 4 1/8. Because it's 3 1/8. Did I score at 4 1/8? Yes, I did. 4 1/8. So 1 inch and 4 1/8. And now you're going to see this come together to actually fit that soap in. And if it doesn't, I'm going to scream. You're all going to go, forget about her template because she doesn't know what she's talking about. No, I'm kidding. I have full faith that it's going to fit. Okay, so we've got that. We've got that. We've got that. And, okay. So we have the same template as what we had before. It's just a larger size. If you sit the soap on here, the soap is definitely going to fit in there. It all fits. It's all good. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing again. Dora says, Theo has made his presence known to watch you make little presents. Yes, exactly. Okay, so we're going to cut up once again to that first score line on all of them. Rotate it around, and we're going to cut up to all of those score lines again. Now, the way I work out what my designer series paper is going to be, so once again, we're going to cut those little wedges in, and remember that's so that when we actually do fold that up, and it's on all of those little small tabs, not on the large tabs. The large rectangle tabs are going to stay with definite straight edges. Now, one of the things when you're cutting for boxes, it's really important that you cut right on your score line, okay? Now, if you cut one side to your score line or the other side to your score line, you'll find that when you go to fold your box up, it may not fold up exactly how you want it to fold up, and it's because you've got to be very precise with your cutting. Now, I find that the best thing for these straight edges is to cut on the inside of that score line and on the inside of that score line so that you've definitely got your straight edges. If you cut on the outside of that score line, you're going to get a buckle up here in the corner that is not going to fold up really well at all. So you actually are better off to just run your scissors on the inside of each of those score lines on those straight rectangle pieces. And then cutting these little wedges out, it just stops, as I said, stops it from when you fold it up like that. It stops anything from poking up above on your corner. Okay, Daryl says, our pets are our best friend. My little dog Millie is curled up on the lounge with me, sleeping as usual. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the next thing that I need to know, I know that these are 1 inch, so I actually like to do 7/8 of an inch on those. So I'm actually going to use some of the gorgeous Beautiful Balloons Designer Series paper because I just love it. We might actually use a stripy bit, actually, to tell you the truth. That nice stripy bit. Okay, so now, of course, our piece here, in here is 3 1/8 by 2 1/4. I'm actually going to go 3 inches by 2 1/8 for my Designer Series paper for that center bit. So let's go 3 inches by 2 1/8. So I'm just going to do 2 1/8 first and then do 3 inches. 3 inches. Okay, so that is going to fit in there like that. Okay, so of course This bit here is just going to be 7/8 of an inch because we did it 1 inch. So we're just going to take that same piece of designer series paper and that's going to cut that bit there for us. Now these pieces here are only 2 1/4. Okay. So I can actually get one of those pieces out of that at 7/8. So I'll do that. And 2 1/4, I'm just going to take 1/8 of an inch off it, which will be 2 1/8. Okay. So we'll do that. So 2 1/8 is there, and that's going to fit perfectly there. We will just do a 1/7/8 of an inch, and we'll do it at 2 1/8. And that's our designer series paper. So I did say I wasn't going to decorate this, but I'm now going to decorate it. But it's all good. I thought, how can I show you how to make that box and then not decorate it? All right, so I'm just going to adhere those just like we did the first one. And who doesn't love this paper? Like, honestly, it is absolutely stunning. Okay, so that paper was 3 inches by 2 1/8. These pieces were 2 1/8 by 7/8 of an inch, and you need 2 of those. 2 1/8 by 7/8 of an inch, and 2 of those. And of course, this one here was 7/8 of an inch by 3 inches. Jenny, no, we don't have the female cat that we used to have. That was Gizmo. She actually passed away maybe about 6 months after my husband and I separated. Yeah, he took Gizmo and I took Theo. And we had her for 19 years. 19 years we had that cat for. And sadly, yeah, she went with my husband and lasted probably about 6 months. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to cut my little finger hole out there. So I'm just going to eyeball that, cut that little finger hole out to make it easy. And now it's just a case of gluing those together again like we did. She was a good old age and she was a lovely cat. I think she went through a little bit of fretting when all of that happened because I literally was the one that had been feeding her for, well, when I say, okay, so it was probably like 12 months after my husband and I separated because I lived in the house for like 12 months before we sold it. So she lived with me while we're in the house, but when we had to move out of the house, that was when Daryl had to take her. And sadly, after she went to live with him 6 months later. But he got to have 6 months with her, so that was all right. And she was a good old age. She was a lovely cat, though. Okay, all right, so I'm just adhering those. So I'm just making the bottom box, making sure that I've got my corners nice. Okay, and that last corner. Okay, so that's the bottom box. I can actually pop my soap in. Told you it was going to fit. I was holding my breath when I did that. No, I was just kidding. Okay, so now the top flaps here, we're going to pop some glue on those. So hopefully that has helped you when it comes to boxes and trying to work out. I know a lot of people say, can you tell me the measurements of that box? But unless it is, unless what you're putting in it is the same size as what the measurements are, that's the hard part. So if you're actually searching on like YouTube or something for a box for a certain thing, you have to know whether it's going to fit or not, so if you actually do that template and work out your template, work out a plan of how to actually make it, you will find that you will have a never fail box recipe. There used to be a app or something that you could download that would actually tell you how to make those box sizes, but I can't remember. It was called something like the big box template or something like that. I can't remember, but that's actually, when I worked out that's actually how they were making them, I was like, well, you know what? I can do that myself. So you can see there, it's totally made that box perfect. Once again, I'm going to flip that back and just cut those corners off. That one and this one. Okay, and voila, I now have another box made. Okay, so you can see they're a different size, but just by doing the same template, it works the same. So I'm just going to wrap a ribbon around that one because I may as well, because I'm here and I've done that. So much for me not decorating things. Okay, so Glenda, does that explain? I'm glad you said that it explains it and I made it sound so easy. Well, I mean, things are easy if you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, as long as you can understand, and I try to make it as easy as it can, to understand how to do it. But I mean, there's no point in me going through all the thought process and working out how to make the box and then just telling you measurements, because you may have something that's a different size that you want to put in that box, and that box is not necessarily going to work for you if it's not the right measurements. But at least now you can work out, you can always work out your box, as I said, from what you've got. You work out how I suppose it's how long and how deep. Is that what the measurement is? The depth and then the height. Okay, so how long it is, how deep it is, and the height of it. They're the things that you need to know. And depending on, even if it's a weird shape, like if it's a weird shape, like a pen, for instance, it's not a rectangle, it's a pen. I would measure that pen, how long it is, add a little bit on for the length, and then I would lay it on the table and measure how high it is, and you could actually make a box for a pen as well. Exactly the same way. Totally exactly the same way. And see, I do agree, like, when it comes to, so I'm just going to bring all those little cute boxes back in, because how cute do they look? And I am telling you, they smell absolutely fantastic. So they're all the ones that I've made so far. So I think they will look really, really great on a display at my stand at the Bow Desert Show. So if you're from the Scenic Rim area and you're heading to width, length, height, exactly, Donna, exactly. Yeah. And so that's exactly how you can work it out. So if you're in the Scenic Rim area, please come on down to the Bow Desert Show and come and have a chat with me. I would be more than happy to have a chat with you, show you the things that I've got, and have a look at the things that I have for sale as well. Look at Theo. Like, do you think he's really enjoying this? Theodore, are you right there, Muddy? Are you right? It's a hard life being a cat, isn't it? I think we all need to come back as a cat. What do you think? So if you absolutely loved what I have done today, please feel free to give me the thumbs up. Please feel free, if you're watching back on the replay, please say hello. He's asking for a belly rub. I can honestly tell you, Jenny, if I tried to rub his belly, he would probably bite me. And there's things that you can do with Theo, and there's things that you can't do with Theo. And one of them is a belly rub. And I know that for sure. When he is totally relaxed, yes, okay, you can rub his belly. When he's early of a morning, when he's smooching me and jumping up at me, I can grab him and I can rub him on the belly and he's totally okay. But if I physically stuck my hand in there now and tried to rub his belly, he would actually bite me. But I could pat him on the back, I could pat him on the head. But if I physically put my hand in at his stomach now, I know he would grab me. And I can tell you, if my daughter did anything to him, patted him, actually did anything to him, went anywhere near him, he would swipe at her. But she actually would never ever stop him from biting her when he was little. And it is the only person that he does, and he doesn't do it in a bad way. He does it in a playful way. Like it's actually not vicious at all. It's just a playful way. But yeah. You'll be coming back as my little Dashy. So, so you'll be 1 in 8 days. Oh, she will be 1 in 8 days. Wow. I can't believe you've had her for a year, Lynn. Yeah. So honestly, I think I could definitely come back as a cat for sure. Well, come back as a Theo for sure. Anyway, because I think it would be a perfect life. So thank you, everyone. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please comment if you are watching the replay back. Please comment. If there's anything for your crafting supplies that you may need, please hit that shop link down below in the description. And thank you for hanging out with me. And I will see you all here at 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And